Hello, everyone. Hello. Can I say anything more after Janetta has spoken? Thank you so much. I've known Janetta for like how many years now? We hardly meet though. We hardly meet. But thank you so much for the inspiring speech. If I don't remember anything, I remember walk the talk. So it should be our ambition to walk the talk so that we can make the impact we need to make in this community and to remember what has been accomplished before we arrived. The descendants of the first black settlers in Alberta. Thank you very much, Janetta. I want to say again, welcome to the African world. She started it. Where every older person is an auntie or an uncle, and every peer a bro or a sister. So hello uncles, hello aunties, hello bros, hello sisters. First, I would like to express my appreciation to you all for making the time to come and support the inauguration of our new organization today, especially our Beaumont Council, represented by Councillor Sam Monkoff-Swain and Stephen. We thank you for approving our grant. We are very happy about that. So thank you very much. It's a beautiful thing you have done, and beautiful things always release energy. So you can see the energy today. So thank you for the beautiful thing. I would also like to acknowledge the giants of African descent in Leduc County, on whose shoulders we stand today. The big uncles and aunties. Our first thanks to Janetta Jemison, our chief guest, who just spoke, a direct descendant of the first black settlers in Alberta. We also want to thank Michael. Have you guys ever visited the Beaumont barber shop? I think that's the only barber shop for like 30 years. Well, there's Michael there. He's a Trinidadian Canadian. He's been living here for 50 years. And then there's Charles and Angelica. They are Guyanese Canadians. They have also lived in Leduc for 50 years. So these are the giants on whose shoulders we are standing today. They were telling me that they had tried many times to found organizations to bring together black people, but they were not successful. So their seeming failures are what? The ashes from which we are rising. So we thank them. What is diversity? As the saying goes, there are two sides to every story. Diversity tells this kind of story. Diversity can trick us or treat us. Not a treat for your sweet tooth, but a treatment of our stereotypes, false narratives, and postures. Diversity can explore without embracing. Diversity can embrace without engaging. Which reminds me of a story an older lady I and my husband met at an event recently told us. She said about 30 or 40 years ago, there was no high school in Beaumont. So, you guys know Rollyview. Rollyview is like 15 minutes from here, right? And so they didn't have a high school. So they bused the teens from Rollyview, and Rollyview is of Germans, okay? They're of German descent. And Beaumont, as you know, is French. So the parents on both sides strongly advised their children not to date each other. The French should not date the Germans, and the Germans should not date the French. However, as you know, children have a way of outsmarting their parents or outstriding their cultures. So even though her cousin's first date failed, many years later, some of them were able to get married. So we've come a very long way. The Germans and the French are now married. Thank God. So indeed, we've come a long way. When diversity embraces and engages a newness like headwaters in the mountain tops, which freshen and sustain the river network and downstream communities, thrives. We all live downstream. Let's remember that. We all live downstream. Diversity, like headwater streams, traps floods that could otherwise claim lives of innocent people. Floods that could arise from false narratives and legacies that perpetuate marginalization. Diversity, like headwater streams, recharges groundwater supplies of the rich discussions that bring forth many perspectives to living. The process for reflecting on knowledge and understandings. Diversity, like headwater springs, removes pollution downstream, pollutants that spring from people's insecurities. Diversity is a new reality that requires consideration of our perceptions, language, and connections. It is our responsibility as individuals and cultures to constantly challenge our perceptions and language in the light of truth as we build new connections and harness old ones. There's much to connect to and to connect with in the multicultural universe of the African diaspora community. How are we going to rally around the ending of the United Nations International Decade for People of African Descent, which is ending 2024 next year? How are we as a people of African descent going to appropriate celebrations like Emancipation Day, Africa Day, International Day for People of African Descent, which just happened August 31st, to build connections that inspire new conversations and strategies that can truly transform our communities everywhere? Our flowers are in bloom. Let the pollination begin. And on this note, I would like to wish all the people of African descent here happy International Day for People of African Descent. Beyond the wishing, our new set of language values must transcend tribes, party affiliations, diaspora blocks, regional blocks, and faith groups to create and to contribute to something bigger than us. We are the change. If in organization of people of African descent represented here today would like to participate in celebrating and redeeming the International Decade for People of African Descent ending next year, please contact me. We do have a program in place. In light of the above, the Black Impact Foundation of Beaumont is committed to giving voice, shape, and meaning to this vision of multiculturalism and diversity, enriching its principles in practice and thought. The Black Impact Alliance Foundation of Beaumont is also committed to contributing to a lasting reconciliation with indigenous people. The Black Impact Alliance Foundation of Beaumont is committed to contributing to the vision of inclusive spaces and practices of all cultures. The Black Impact Alliance Foundation of Beaumont envisions this journey as a learning process that happens as we join other cultures that call Beaumont home together in relationship with each other, sharing ideas, materials, places, and histories. We hope to create a living museum of heirloom seeds and plants, which we want to call the Homowo Heirloom Seed Collection, in consultation with the city to communicate to the public the histories of the various cultures and peoples that live in Beaumont. We hope that the city will consider this project because the seeds hold people's dreams. Okay, the seeds that we grow hold our dreams and our visions and whatever things we have. So we hope that we can create this kind of living museum where we have seeds represented from various cultures here, and then the plants will tell the stories of the cultures. So look forward to our upcoming programs and events. We are looking to having a Vanguard volunteer program which hopes to engage the youth of African descent in voluntary work that will be credited to them depending on hours volunteered in scholarships up to $10,000. Your patronage today will help us to achieve this important goal. We are also planning for a Black Alliance Gospel Concert for 2024. And we also want to run a Black Impact Youth Gospel Choir. And the Fela Fet Home Award, which is the first of its kind today. Finally, people of African descent don't live in Beaumont or Leduc because we like the name. Maybe we do. We live in Beaumont and we live in the Leduc County because the county reminds us of a child as capable and full of potential. Thank you.